How we doing? So, I suppose we better get cooking here. See if I have anything tagged myself. Probably not. Nope. Nope. Okay. But I know Steph has been busy all morning and all afternoon. Because she is awesome. Down, 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 down. Okay. Oh, there we go.
In Doral, just
happening today, the nation will honor 6 American troops killed in Kuwait as President Trump's attending the dignified transfer at Dover Air Force Base. Let's see.
The reason I'm in Doral, just outside of Miami at President Trump's golf club here, is because, as you can see behind me, a stage is being set right now for the Shield of the Americas Summit. I'll get to that.
Oh, yeah.
That deals with Latin American leaders, South American leaders, also some of those Caribbean nation leaders as well, discussing security in the Western Hemisphere. But he will leave after his remarks later this morning, head to the Miami airport, fly up to Dover, Delaware, where the Air Force Base is, and that's where the mortuary is for the U.S. military, and he will honor those 6 fallen service members who tragically lost their lives earlier this week, several days ago, after the U.S. started attacking Iran and Iran attacked. You see the picture right there, Captain Cody Cork, Sergeant First Class Noah Tietjens, Sergeant First Class Nicole Armour, Specialist Declan Cody, Major Jeffrey O'Brien, and Chief Warrant Officer Robert Marzon. He'll honor all 6 of those people. Now, before that, Trump will meet with members of several different Latin American nations, as I said, to kick off this Shield of the Americas Summit here in Doral. The purpose is to foster cooperation between the nations while stopping drug cartel, the drug flow, and boosting security for nations in the Western Hemisphere. Now, several of those nations' leaders are expected to attend, standing with the president, leaders from Argentina to Bolivia to the Dominican Republic. Notably, the leaders of Mexico and Venezuela will not be here, the newly installed president there after the U.S. took out Nicolas Maduro. Now, it's been 1 week since the president and his team were in South Florida, specifically Palm Beach, watching the Iran operation unfold on closed-circuit television. At an unrelated roundtable event yesterday at the White House, the president said this about the overall operation in Iran. Listen.
Somebody said, how would you score it from 0 to 10? I said I'd give it a 12 to a 15. Their army is gone. They're just about, look, their navy is gone. Their communications are gone. Their leaders are gone.
It's all gone. It's all gone.
And the president has made comments over the past few days that he has his eyes squarely set on Cuban leadership and the regime there. Sources saying that that could be falling at some point within weeks or perhaps maybe a little bit longer. So we expect Cuba to come up today as a subject, clearly. As
Ute, man. Knocking them down like dominoes, I guess. All right. United States Senate should focus on exclusively, if necessary, the Save America Act. But everyone wants. Iran, he says, which is beat to hell, has apologized and surrendered to its Middle East neighbors. Well, really? What? And promised that it will not shoot at them anymore. Yeah, they did do that. This promise was only made because of the relentless U.S. and Israeli attack. They were looking to take over and rule the Middle East. First time Iran has ever lost in thousands of years to surrounding Middle Eastern countries. They have said, thank you, President Trump, and I have said, you are welcome. Iran is no longer the bully of the Middle East. They are instead the loser of the Middle East and will be for many decades until they surrender or, more likely, completely collapse. Today, Iran will be hit very hard, under serious consideration for complete destruction and certain death. Because of Iran's bad behavior, are areas and groups of people that were not considered for targeting up until this moment in time. Wonder what that's referring to. Weird. Huh.
With nothing on my tongue but hallelujah.
Is this where they all get to go bend the knee?
Hallelujah.
Oh, it's Bukele. He's all right.
Hallelujah.
Who else? Some guy. Freaking smart glasses, man. Creepy. You built military. Oh, well, I'll just let him say it while I go get my tea.
I built the military and rebuilt it and made it really strong in my first administration, along with a lot of other things we did. We had a great first term. And now we're using it. Unfortunately, we have to. But you're seeing how great it is. There's no military like it on earth, not even close. And we're doing very well in Iran. You see the result. And it's been amazing. We've knocked out 42 Navy ships, some of them very large, in 3 days. That was the end of the Navy. We knocked out their Air Force. We knocked out their communications, and all telecommunications is gone. I don't know how they communicate, but I guess they will figure something out. It's not working out too well. And they're bad people. They're just bad people. When you look at October 7th and beyond October 7th, look at all the killing that they've done over the years, for 47 years. And this had to be done. They were very close to a nuclear weapon. They would have had one if we didn't do our B-2 hit, Midnight Hammer. They would have had it 8 months ago. They would have had a nuclear weapon, and, you know, they're crazy, and they would have used it. So we did the world a favor. And they said, well, how are you doing on a scale of 0 to 10? How are you doing with the attack? And I said, about a 15, I would say, with 10 being the best. But it's something that had to be done, and we're doing it well.
We're doing it well.
Tobago.
Tobago. Prime Minister of Tobago? What?
Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh. Ooh.
I have to be very careful with this because, you know, your first name is very similar to a first name that we have, but fortunately it's pronounced different. It's Kamala. As opposed to Kamala. I like Kamala better in many ways. And I just want to say thank you very much, but I had to be careful with that first name. I didn't want to get it mixed up because it would ruin your reputation completely. Right? I said, is this the same pronunciation? No, sir, it's a little different. It's Cam, right? Cam, as opposed to Calm. Well, we don't like Calm. Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. I have to be very careful with this because, you know,
No loopies.
historic day,
Okay, more at the Shield of the Americas.
but on this historic day, we come together to announce a brand new military coalition to eradicate the criminal cartels plaguing our region. And you have a lot of it. One of the things when we were talking backstage, you were telling me the crime, the cartels, and we're knocking the hell out of them where we can. We're going to go heavier. You saw what we were doing with the boats coming in. The boats, there's not a lot of people coming in by boats anymore. We knocked down drugs coming in by sea. Drugs coming in through water is down 96%. We're trying to find out who the other 4% are because I think they're the bravest people in the world. Either that or they don't watch television, right? They're either very brave or they're not watching. But we're calling this military partnership the America's Counter Cartel Coalition. And that's what you need. You have cartels. They seem to grow in this region unbelievably rapidly. Has to do with drugs largely. Earlier this week here in Miami, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, who's right here. Pete, you are fantastic, doing a great job. We're proud of you. And representatives of 17 different nations formally entered this new alliance. The heart of our agreement is a commitment to using lethal military force to destroy the sinister cartels and terrorist networks once and for all. We'll get rid of them. Security, prosperity, free, because all of the nations in this room share the same priorities: security, prosperity, free
Does that audio sound like a little goofy for anyone else? Is that just me?
commerce, and the rule of law.
Like a little...
And you want the rule of law.
Yeah, just shaky, just a little...
Sometimes your communities don't let you have it because you got some rough communities, right? That's why together we're also forming the Shield of Americas, a new organization to advance these shared priorities in our hemisphere.
Okay, so it's not just me. All right, that's good. Okay, I was like worried my speakers were getting like messed up or something. I don't know.
Just as we formed a coalition to eradicate ISIS in the Middle East, we must now do the same thing to eradicate the cartels at home. Just as we formed a coalition to eradicate ISIS.
The signing. The commitment to countering cartel criminal activity. DCCCA. All right.
When visitors
Today, Michelle and I are proud to announce that we'll be hosting the dedication ceremony for the Obama, whatever the fuck this thing is.
look up at the Obama Presidential Center's museum building, they'll see three
Oh, it's a museum?
simple,
Bullshit.
powerful words.
Could have fooled me.
You are America. Those words come from a speech that is especially close to my heart. The one I gave in Selma on the 50th anniversary of the march across the Edmund Pettus Bridge.
If. Yeah, I gotta get my my soundboard set back up. I had that set up on the Mac, but I don't have it. I don't have it here yet. Oh man, crazy stuff. Like, oh god, you guys don't even give a shit about stuff I've been into. You don't care. Yeah, so I got the little thing here that lets me do the soundboard stuff, and then I haven't really gotten to play with it because it's like the setup is just so tedious and confusing. Like I got a little bit of the soundboard stuff initially when I was still on the Mac laptop, but I haven't switched it over since moving to the desktop. But I'm gonna do that because I just recently discovered that that the coding app I've been using, like the AI coding app, I can just point it at the application for this thing and tell it to like just make stuff for me, and it just makes stuff. I don't even have to do anything. I don't even have to set anything up. It just does it. So I set up like a bunch of editing stuff. I haven't done the soundboard yet. I got to download the sounds myself, but I'm gonna get a nice soundboard set up finally. I've been meaning to do that, so. Okay, Hussein announces the grand opening of his trash can presidential center. Yeah. Oh, Marco Rubio there too.
Cover in Spanish. You all right about? Oh, good.
Oh, he just starts going in Spanish, huh?
We don't need an interpreter for this one. Quiero darle las gracias. I think I'm a good interpreter. You'll find out in a second. But las gracias a los países que están aquí hoy. Estos países. Primero, el presidente ha hecho esta región una prioridad.
Hey,
Su administración.
breaking it out.
Muchos
Hey.
presidentes que han dicho que lo van a hacer, pero él lo ha hecho y se lo agradecemos. Y muy agradecido a los 12 países que están aquí hoy. Estos son países que no solamente son aliados, son amigos. Son países que siempre responden cuando hay una necesidad y trabajan en conjunto con nosotros y queda mucho por hacer. Estos son países que tienen una gran población, mucho potencial y queremos ser sus socios.
I have no idea what he just said, but it sure did sound good. in Florida to join the president for the first ever Shield of the Americas Summit.
Atmosphere will never be questioned again.
Nicolas Maduro
Dang.
had multiple opportunities to avoid this.
Gangster paradise. Okay.
The Monroe Doctrine is a big deal, but we've superseded it by a lot. They now call it the Donroe Doctrine.
R.I.P. Coolio. Mamdani's wife, Rama Douaji, liked Instagram posts that appeared to support the October 7th attacks.
Online outlet covering U.S. politics and Jewish affairs was first to report this, and it's unclear when Douaji actually liked the photos. CBS News verified that Douaji liked a post from the Slow
Surprise, surprise!
Factory on October 7th, 2023, showing images from the attack, and another from the People's Forum a day after the attack showing protests in New York City. Mamdani responded to the...
I don't think anybody should be shocked by this. I mean, duh. The people of New York City deserve better. Lara Lee Trump calls out Zoran Mamdani for defending... Oh, he's defending his wife. They got him on defense now.
You know, my wife is the love of my life, and she's also...
My wife is the life of my wife.
So a private person who has held no formal position on my campaign or in my city hall. I, however, was elected to represent all 8.5 million people in this city, and I believe that it's my responsibility, because of that role, to answer any questions about my thoughts and my policies and my decisions.
Oh, boo.
She's the host of
Frickin'
My
who?
View. Laura, it's so great to have you on. So what's your reaction to Mayor Mamdani's defense of his wife?
Well, yeah, Rachel, he didn't come out and apologize. Let's be clear about what he said there. He basically said, I love my wife and she can kind of post whatever she wants, but that's not good enough. I mean, we're going to have to do a little bit better than that. You are the mayor of the city with the largest Jewish population in the entire country, and we're not just going to excuse something like this, because what his wife essentially did is watch while you had innocent Jewish women, children, elderly, kidnapped, raped, tortured, burned to death by terrorists, and thought, you know what, I agree with these actions so much that I'm going to show my support for this by actively liking it on social media. I mean, my gosh, you have to be a special level of sick, demented, and anti-Semitic to do something like that. And it's just not good enough. We need better than that. For the people of New York City, they deserve better.
Daylight savings time. That's right. Coming up 2 a.m.
Get ready to spring forward this weekend. The annual practice of adjusting clocks forward by 1 hour to take advantage of more sunlight and daylight hours means that sunsets will happen later in the day. Most states, the District of Columbia, and the Navajo Nation observe daylight saving time. Arizona, Hawaii, and U.S. territories do not. Because daylight saving time often translates to less sleep for a brief period, the annual change can impact a person's health. So to minimize the effects of daylight saving time on one's health, experts recommend modifying your bedtime 15 to 20 minutes earlier than usual. Get ready to spring forward this weekend. The annual practice.
Yep. FBI investigating an internet outage. Oh, that's weird. What the heck? FBI investigating an internet outage in Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood around the same time of her disappearance. Suspect may have used a signal jammer to disable cameras in the Arizona neighborhood. You know what? You know what that sounds like? Either the government or the cartels. The cartels have a lot of that stuff. They have a shitload of signal jammers. More than they know what to do with.
It may be time to rethink the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. From the start, a common assumption was that this was a relatively amateur operation. Premeditated, yes, but not that sophisticated. Well, now there's a major new focus as the search nears week number 6. The FBI is now looking at internet outages around the time the 84-year-old disappeared. The new development comes as FBI agents head back to Guthrie's Tucson neighborhood and canvass residents there door to door. They're asking if anyone's internet went out that morning, the morning that Guthrie vanished. If so, it could have disabled their surveillance cameras during that critical time period and prevented them from recording what could be valuable evidence in Guthrie's case. This all comes as investigators zero in further on the doorbell camera video. It's really the only clue they have so far, capturing the masked suspect approaching Nancy's door. Here's what they're now focused on. See that small black device that was in the man's pocket? They're wondering if this could be a signal jammer, which the suspect could have used to cause an internet blackout. It's a theory that our own Brian Enton checked out. Brian, you made some interesting discoveries as you went around in the neighborhood. What did you find?
Yeah, it's interesting, Elizabeth. You know, we knew for the last couple of days that the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's detectives were asking neighbors right near Nancy's house if they had any kind of internet outage or internet disruption around the time that Nancy went missing, early morning hours of February 1st. And it turns out there are neighbors behind Nancy's house, like back behind the house. There's a desert area, and they live on the other side. And right around the time of Nancy's disappearance, two of their Ring cameras on the back side of the house, which would have been closest to Nancy's house, were not working. They showed up as not available, which is apparently something that has never happened before. And it only happened during that period, early morning hours, February 1st. Also interesting, at the same time, Elizabeth, they tell me that their dog woke them up in the middle of the night, which is something that has basically never happened before, they say, and wanted to go outside, and then was staring in the direction of Nancy's house. Now, there's been these questions about the possibility of signal jammers. You showed the picture of one. There's a little antenna sticking out of the suspect's pocket, it appears to be. Could be a walkie-talkie. It's possible it's a signal jammer. It's also possible, if it was one, that it would have knocked out Ring cameras and cell phones in the area while he was there. We know the FBI is looking into it, Elizabeth.
Hmm. Kind of weird. Sounds like cartel. Yeah. Oh. Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden spoke at Jesse Jackson's funeral services. Oh, I bet they did. Bet they had lots to talk about.
Some of the biggest names in politics, particularly on the Democratic side of the aisle, were on hand today in Chicago for the funeral of Reverend Jesse Jackson. The mourners included former Presidents Biden, Obama, Clinton, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, former First Lady Jill Biden, and former Vice President Kamala Harris.
He gave us the language, the rainbow, to understand, as has been said, the
rainbow
comes
oh
after
gosh darn
the
it
storm, when we see what is possible and what can be unburdened by what has been.
Oh my God, no, she did not. Oh my God, she did it.
Mr. Obama said
she did it. Dude, she went and dropped a big fat stinking turd into the middle of his funeral.
The storm, when we see what is possible and what
just bent over, took a big fat steamer right on the stage.
Can be unburdened by what has been.
Dear Lord, God help us all.
Wall earlier when I
was. Meanwhile, we had this.
If I told you all earlier when I was a kid I had a cleft palate or club foot, none of you would have laughed.
I mean, you could probably tell me you were retarded as a kid, and I'd probably believe it.
But it's okay to laugh at stuttering. I'm not being critical of you, but think about it. It's the one place where people think you're stupid. Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure everyone thinks you're stupid everywhere else, too.
I'm a hell of a lot smarter than most of you. But all kidding aside.
Are you calling black people stupid, sir? You wouldn't be the only Democrat leader to do that of late. Gavin had his own gaffe.
Oh, really? I'm a hell of a lot smarter than most of you.
He says to a room full of black people.
some new assault.
Oh, dear me. What a day. Who dis now? Oh, it's Obama.
Each day we wake up to some new assault on our democratic institutions. Another setback to the idea of the rule of law. An offense to common decency. Every day you wake up to things you just didn't think were possible. Each day we're told by those in high office to fear each other and to turn on each other, and that some Americans count more than others.
You, sir, have done all of these things.
And that some don't even count at all.
And you've done it more than anyone else.
Everywhere we see greed and bigotry being celebrated, and
again, yeah, you, that's you.
Bullying and mockery masquerading as strength. We see science and expertise denigrated.
And by the way, what the hell even is this up here? What is on that woman's head?
While ignorance and dishonesty and cruelty and corruption are reaping untold rewards every single day. We see that. And it's hard to hope in those moments. So it may be tempting to get discouraged, to give in to cynicism. It may be tempting for some to compromise with power and grab what you can, or even for good people to maybe just put your head down and wait for the storm to pass.
Okay.
But this man, Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson, inspires us to take a harder path. His voice calls on each of us to be heralds of change, to be messengers of hope, to step forward and say, send me. Wherever we have a chance to make an impact, whether it's in our school, or our workplaces, or our neighborhoods, or our cities. Not for fame, not for glory, or because success is guaranteed, but because it gives our life purpose. Because it aligns with what our faith tells us God demands. And because if we don't step up, no one else will. How fortunate we were
to have me, Barack Obama, in the Oval Office. Is what he meant to say.
Jackson answered that call.
Oh. Hegseth responds to report Russia shared intel with Iran. Oh. What do you have to say? Wah.
CBS News has three sources telling us that Russia is providing intelligence to Iran on U.S. positions and movements. The average American might hear that and think that's a big and dangerous deal, is it?
Well, we're tracking everything. Our commanders are aware of everything. We have the best intelligence in the world. We're aware of who's talking to who, why they're talking to them, how accurate that information might be, how we factor that into our battle plans, our CENTCOM commander. So we know what's going on, and the president has an incredible knack at knowing how to mitigate those risks. And so the American people can rest assured their commander-in-chief is well aware of who's talking to who, and anything that shouldn't be happening, whether it's in public or back-channeled, is being confronted and confronted strongly.
The American people can therefore expect conversations with the Russians to stop this?
Well, President Trump, as people have seen, has a unique relationship with a lot of world leaders where he can get things done that other presidents, certainly Joe Biden, never could have. And through direct conversations or indirect, through him one-to-one or through his cabinet, messages definitely can be delivered.
Does this put U.S. personnel in any more danger than they otherwise would be?
Well,
the Russian involvement.
No one's putting us in danger. We're putting the other guys in danger. That's our job. So we're not concerned about that. We mitigate it as we need to. Our commanders factor all of this, but the only ones that need to be worried right now are Iranians that think they're going to live.
Okay. Prison guard Googled Jeffrey Epstein minutes before his body was found and deposited thousands of dollars days before the pedo's suicide, quote unquote. Oh shit. Somebody knows something. Tova Noel, one of the 2 Metro Correctional Center workers accused of falsifying records to say they checked on Epstein throughout the night, made a mysterious $5,000 cash deposit 10 days before the predator's jail cell suicide. Was she retarded? First of all? I don't remember doing that. I didn't do that. When she said, when she was asked about Googling Epstein minutes before all this went down, I don't recall looking him up. And shit. She was heard to say. Noel, who drove a $62,000 2019 Land Rover Range Rover, wasn't asked about the cash during her DOJ interview. I don't know what DOJ was doing. Certainly not their jobs. How insane, man. Oh, well. Speaking of insane,
amendment.
Here's our governor.
Hello, I'm Governor Abigail Spanberger, and I'm voting yes on Virginia's redistricting amendment.
Well, I bet you are, bitch.
Hello, I'm Governor.
Oh, God. Nope. I'm done. No more. An Iranian intelligence agent has just been federally convicted after plotting an assassination attempt on Trump back in 2024. Asif Merchant.
Political leader.
Remember this guy?
In the federal trial of a Pakistani man, prosecutors accuse him of plotting to assassinate American political leaders, including President Trump. He says Iran was behind it all. Alexis McAdams is outside the Brooklyn Federal Courthouse in New York.
Of course, that could just be a convenient, like... You know, he sees what's in the news and thinks, oh, gee, here's my excuse.
New York City. Alexis.
It was Iran, you guys. Iran made me do it.
Hi, Harris. Yeah, an interesting case that really not a lot of viewers knew about when it happened in 2024 because President Trump was out on the campaign trail and there was so much going on and so many other threats. But that's what police say Asif Merchant came here from Pakistan because he says Iranian leadership told him to, said hunt down President Trump, hire a couple of guys that can take him out at a political rally. So take a look here on your screen. This is who we're talking about. He's sitting there in.
So do you have any evidence of that? Like,
side of that Brooklyn.
If so, like, heck yeah, like, bring it on.
Federal courthouse right now as those closing arguments are underway. 47 years old. He's facing federal terrorism charges and could spend the rest.
What is the box we're looking at on the paper?
Of his life behind bars. Merchant testified, Harris, in his own federal trial, and he explained this, making this drawing again that he said Iranian leaders gave him back in 2024. Really doesn't look like there's
Iranian leaders gave this to him?
Much to it. It looks like, you know, like a kid drew it or something.
This is supposed to be... Huh?
But that's the sketch of a rally site. Merchant was arrested just one day before Trump was shot in Butler, Pennsylvania, and later told the feds...
Bizarre.
That he believed Iran was behind that attack because it was so similar to the plan that they gave him. Kind of get up in an elevated place, go to a rally, and create all this chaos so the gunman can get away. Merchant says Iran wants revenge for the killing of their top military leader, Qasem Soleimani. And threats continue as the U.S. just bombed Iran and took out its Ayatollah. So we're expecting even more threats here, possibly on the homeland, according to the Fed.
Bizarre. All right. Yeah, I don't know that I believe the Packy on that. Sorry. Nope. Newly revealed FCC records show Thomas Massie received several $7,000 donations. That's too funny. From donors surnamed Marouk, who also backed Ilhan Omar, Ro Khanna, Cory Bush, and Keith Ellison, with 79% of his donors also contributing to Democrats and Act Blue. 7,000, huh? Shocking video out of the United Kingdom shows UK police allowing Islamists on horseback wearing armbands, pretending to be officers, to patrol Manchester streets. What?
Apparently they're allowed to chase people with horses.
Huh? Dude, what the fuck? Pardon me, but what?
They just chase someone with an horse.
What?
Just chase people with horses. Are they
How is this happening?
Greater Manchester Police? How come they're not being nicked for chasing them people with horses then? They've just been chasing people with horses off.
Because they've got the full backing of the boys and gals in yellow over there. Jeez.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck?
Clearly. They should be being nicked. Should be being nicked, officer. They've just been chasing people on horses. Why are they not being nicked?
With the greatest respect, what do you want me to do and pull him off the horse?
Yeah. What? If they had a Union Jack on, they'd be off the horse.
Well, I'm not going to pull someone off the horse, mate.
If they
Why not? He's in the middle of a city and he's not a cop.
had a Union Jack on, you would.
Why wouldn't you pull him off the horse? Southwest Flight 2094 diverted to Atlanta due to a security threat. One passenger was removed. Remains unclear what the passenger in question did or said to trigger the security response. Passenger says bomb threat. Jeez. What is up with the goofy chanting? Like, what the hell?
Let's go.
Hands down, hands up.
Stand up. Stand up.
Well, somebody's about to have a very bad day.
Going to bomb the plane. Going to bomb the plane. Dead to America, dead to Trump. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar.
Oh my God. You got
Sit down. Don't move. Watch the plane.
Why does this look like a different dude? Is this even the same flight? Sorry. Can't tell.
Bomb the plane.
No, it's not. They're completely different. What the shit?
To America, dead to Trump.
So, one was diverted to Atlanta, then this one was commercial flight leaving Nashville. I don't know if it's the same one or if it's... I mean, no, it's definitely not. It's definitely... Those seats are completely different. Blue leather. See? Completely different. Different plane. What is going on? Something's going on with that. That's pretty weird. Two separate flights? Republican Senator Roger Marshall comes out in support of using the talking filibuster to pass the SAVE Act.
Have come out in support of the talking filibuster. And just last night, Senator Roger Marshall's office responded to our producers late in the evening saying, quote, we should explore every possible avenue to get the Save America Act passed into law. If that means utilizing the talking filibuster, he supports it. And then there are 7 senators who have either expressed skepticism or have outright rejected using the talk, have come out in support.
Bill Mayer on the Epstein files.
I apologize to QAnon.
Oh, he apologized to QAnon? What?
Yeah.
You did?
I did.
Must have missed that.
I said that Democrats don't eat babies, but you guys were righter about this than I was.
Righter than I was.
Mocking you and saying, oh, these crazy conspiracy theories. They think there's some sort of pedophile ring of the elites around the world.
And there was a pedophile ring of elites around the world.
Now I'm thinking there really was like a child trafficking in Pizzagate. Like, let's go look in that pizza parlor.
No,
no, there's not a pizza.
I don't know.
Hillary's not part of it. Okay.
Clearly haven't learned your lesson, Bill.
I apologize to QAnon.
Keep ragging on Pizzagate. See where it gets you. Adam Schiff.
Yeah, there are celebrations. When Saddam fell, there were celebrations. 20 years later, not so many celebrations.
20 years later, Iraq is actually in a pretty good place.
Well,
people don't talk about that. Iraq is a much better country than it was. I'm not saying it was the right thing to do. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But that kind of goes unnoticed, that Iraq is not a failed state anymore. They actually have elections. They have opposition parties. They have a media.
Don't you think they got better after we left? Because when we were there, it certainly was not.
Right, but it would still be torture rooms in Saddam Hussein, and his kids would be in charge
but
right
there
now.
would be thousands of Americans beginning.
Tough one. I don't know. Video of Democratic Mayor of San Fran going viral after he calmly walked away while his security detail was in the middle of being attacked. By someone whose pants are around their ankles? Just about? Yeah. Yep. And somehow the guy's still kicking their asses. Come on, security dude. Come on, man. What? Canada is set to pass 100,000 assisted suicides? 100,000? More than the country's World War II death toll. Tenth anniversary of the program. Good Lord. 45 people per day. 10,000 people in the year 2021. Meanwhile, only 2,000 shelter dogs were put down in that same year. We're putting down more people in Canada than dogs. Canadians will kill you on the same day you request to be killed. Warning, if you change your mind, they'll still kill you. 100% death guaranteed. What? Canada now offering same-day assisted suicide, with one elderly woman who changed her mind, just killed anyway. What? How did that work? Killed despite withdrawing her request the day before. How did that happen? Like, I'd really like to know. I would really like to know how exactly that happened. Seriously. It's never fair when a B-52 is involved. All right. Why not? This looks fun. Awesome. I like planes. Trump has taken the bold and decisive action to finally hold the Iranian regime to account for 47 years of aggression. All right.
For 20 years, we have had resolution after resolution after resolution. And you heard it just this last weekend when we had an emergency UN Security Council meeting that Iran and this Iranian regime can never have a nuclear weapon. That year after year, the largest state sponsor of terrorism in the world, they can't have a nuclear bomb. They can't have the means to deliver them, and they cannot have naval assets now that can cut off the world's energy supplies. All of what the UN has been saying now for decades, finally President Trump has said enough, is taking bold and decisive action. I think it's going to prove to be historic. And at the end of the day, he is not a president of endless talk and resolution and strongly worded letter. He said, this is that the point I keep making to the council members is this didn't start several days ago. This started in 1979 under the Carter administration, and President Trump is no longer going to kick.
Ford's Chicago assembly plant secretly built a custom SUV for Pope Leo XIV, the new Pope-mobile.
14th, the Chicago native received the custom Explorer hybrid, complete with the Windy City skyline emblazoned on the inside. The Pope got the keys from Ford's CEO and his wife, who paid for the vehicle themselves. Chicago's Ford assembly plant.
Why? He ain't driving that thing. It's not actually like a Pope-mobile. It's just like a normal-ass Ford. What even is this? Escape? Explorer?
Complete with the...
Like what? Where's he going to drive that thing?
Don't play games with this president's in office, because it's not going to turn out well.
American dominance in the Western Hemisphere will never be questioned again.
Nicolas Maduro had multiple opportunities to avoid this. He effed around, and he found out.
Oh yeah, what's he been up to lately, by the way? Wonder how he's doing.
The Monroe Doctrine is a big deal, but we've superseded it by a lot. They now call it the Donroe Doctrine.
R.I.P. Coolio. Revealed dark money groups sponsoring anti-war protests across the U.S. Good old Neville. Neville Singham. Peter Navarro. Headlines missed the real story behind the jobs number of February.
Friday was jobs report day, and the top line payroll number showed a 92,000 jobs decline. That headline misses the real story. First, February's payroll number was distorted by temporary factors, severe winter weather, and a large healthcare strike that temporarily removed tens of thousands of workers from payrolls. Now here's the key economic point. At the peak of the Biden administration's surge of illegal immigration, when millions of migrants were entering the country and many were joining the labor force, economists estimated the economy needed as many as 150,000 new jobs every month just to keep unemployment from rising. But President Trump sealed the border. Illegal inflows have collapsed. Labor force growth has slowed sharply. That means the break-even job number needed to keep unemployment stable has fallen to about 16,000 jobs per month. So far, in 2026, the economy has added about 17,000 jobs per month, above the break-even level. In other words, the labor market isn't weakening, it's stabilizing. Manufacturing wages are rising more than 5% annually, and factory productivity is growing at its fastest pace in nearly 2 decades. That's the sweet spot of Trumpnomics: rising wages, rising productivity, and stable employment. Ignore the headlines. The fundamentals of the American labor market remain strong.
Minnesota State employee Dylan Adams, bought King Teslas in Minneapolis. You know, because politics.
You may remember this video of Dylan Adams keying multiple Teslas in Minneapolis. Police arrested the state worker, but Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty decided not to seek criminal charges. In a statement last April, Adams' attorney told Fox 9 in part, "My client is very remorseful for his actions and is beginning the process of making sure the victims are made whole financially." Fast forward to today, Fox 9 obtained this letter from the Department of Human Services, where he works as a financial policy compliance lead. It informed Adams the agency was suspending him for 1 working day. The date of the unpaid suspension was January 22nd. We reached out to DHS, who refused to speak about the case. The scale for discipline based on the union contract goes from 1 to 6, 1 being oral reprimand, 6 being discharge. According to the chart, Adams received a 3, which is suspension, paid or unpaid. Now, I did reach out to MAPE, the union that represents Adams, and they told me the association does not make decisions on member discipline. This is done at the discretion of...
What on earth did I just stumble on?
Can you tell me what is queering the map?
So I think we were trying to make the maps more gay.
Literally? That's,
well,
how do you
don't
make
know.
a map more gay?
I mean, especially
or
with
gay
AI,
at all?
you know, since the age of cartography, we've had pretty good maps, but maybe they weren't gay enough. So I know also, I took critical theory in college. I think sometimes people use queer as a verb. I do understand that the maps that we were trying to make gay were, I think, of Czechia and Slovakia. So maybe those countries asked for it.
But what if they don't want to be gay?
I doubt it, but I don't know.
We do have...
So you just don't even know. You just didn't ask them and you just thought they'd just be gay.
Real things to work on in Congress, like what's going on with the imminent threat of Iran. And it is embarrassing that we have to talk about the fact that things like this were funded, non-binary and trans.
How is this even real?
Francophones, linguistic attitudes and ideologies towards inclusive French in Montreal, Canada, these things. I'm going to give you a list. My time has expired. I'm going to give you a list of these. And any of these that you can provide me the receipt for, the Facebook link to where they wanted to take photos of how they were doing a DEIA flash mob in Kyrgyzstan, you know, whatever documentation they have of all of these things, we would love to see that and would absolutely love to know the individuals specifically that were busy writing these grants, because they have no business receiving another paycheck from...
People got grant money to make maps gay?
The people of the United States of...
To gay the maps.
America. In that, I will recognize Representative Schneider.
People received actual money. Were paid money that was taken out of actual people's pockets, tax money, to turn maps gay, more gay. I don't even know what to say to that. Where is this? I don't even know where this is. What is this shit? This is insane. Oh, this isn't state. This is like federal. What the fuck?
You know, since...
Can you tell me what is queering the map?
So I think we were trying to make the maps more gay.
Literally? That's...
Well,
I don't know.
How do you make a map more gay?
I mean,
how do you make a map more gay?
Or gay
AI,
at all?
You know, since the age of cartography, we've had pretty good maps, but maybe they weren't gay enough.
Since the age of cartography, we've had maps that are good, but maybe they aren't gay enough.
So I know...
That was an actual statement that tumbled out of this fucking idiot's mouth.
Also, I took critical theory.
The Honorable Sarah B. Rogers. Undersecretary for Public Diplomacy, U.S. Department of State? What? Why is she still there? Sorry, I stumbled across that one just scrolling, and I had to. Yeah, wow. Okay, what's next? California math teacher under investigation for making test questions about the financial cost of dating overweight girls. Don't date the fat girl.
It's a question like, with math.
It's just a question of math, you guys. It'll kind of cost you more. I mean, she'll eat a lot of food, dude. You can't take that shit into account. Food's expensive these days, man.
High school seniors Jaden Grajeda and Ezra Medad say they were in Mr. Chan's class last year. They both say some of Mr. Chan's test questions did seem odd.
Based.
I remember like specifically seeing one talking about like some females and some questions like with math. I was like, what math got to do with some females? You know what I mean?
Medad says there were also
well, that depends, my friend.
Questions referencing fat kids or word problems, calculating how much money to spend on a date with a girl based on her weight. Questions at least one
makes sense to me.
Parent has reportedly now raised concerns about. Both seniors say Mr. Chan's class is unusual.
He has some odd mannerisms to him, but he's a good guy. He has kids. He just seems like a lovable kind of like enjoyable teacher.
Besides odd questions on tests, Chan has also offered students extra credit for performances posted to YouTube titled Grades or Dignity. This is the 2025 post. In the description of this video, the poster writes, quote, "Kids need an A, so I provide an out." Chan's YouTube channel also includes more than 200 advanced math lessons, with a couple featuring odd details like this thumbnail photo of Mr. Chan with a dumbbell. In the video, he's teaching how to use a calculator for calculus problems, and he writes on his feet.
Here, let me go ahead and write this down because there's like, you need to...
Sounds like every math teacher I've ever had.
I have it somewhere, right? The first
they're all a bit kooky.
You need is going to be the zero function.
I don't think he...
And by a bit, I mean a lot.
He really meant that stuff he said. I think he was just trying to get the kids to focus and
get them to laugh,
engage with the
sounds like a good teacher.
He was very helpful with a lot of us, like with me and Jaden. He was
like a funny guy.
He helped us a lot and helped us better understand it compared to like other teachers.
A little bit weird, maybe, but
that, like are like so fast paced. Like when you ask a question, he'll like go in depth about it. You know what I mean?
I got no problem with it.
High school seniors.
I visited Cunningham Elementary in Austin to see firsthand how they serve real scratch-cooked meals on a tight budget. Secretary Kennedy. That's cool. Is this public? Private? Like what?
Hi, I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
I have to assume public if he's there.
Your HHS secretary. I'm here at Cunningham Elementary School
public.
in Austin, Texas. I wanted to come here because this is a model program for how to get good food to our children.
We are passionate about feeding kids.
Hey, that actually don't look too bad.
Know that nutrition is what drives education. It fuels kids to grow up strong and tall, and we want to make sure these kids have the right...
Veggies look legit, boy.
The right...
They don't look mushy like bull crap I remember eating when I was a kid.
Set to set them for success.
Kids are the best customers that you can have as a chef. Their taste buds are still being...
I don't know about that crap, though.
...formed, so it's an opportunity to...
Okay.
Offer them things they've never seen, textures they've never had, flavors they've never had. This is with sesame and green onions.
Oh, damn, that chicken looked good.
Announced the new food pyramid. And now our next job is to drive really good food into America's schools.
We love the fact that the new dietary guidelines is going to just empower what we're doing to take us even to better heights, better levels of food that we're serving these kids. Our school district rely on...
And I was so impressed because the budget allocated is about $4.20 a meal.
Hey, you can make a good-ass meal for $4.20.
2/3 of that goes to labor and equipment, and so the real price is only about $1.25, and they are managing with that tiny budget.
But wait, is 420? Did he say 420? It's 420?
Did you already finish your apples?
My job is just, I think of it as public service, and their health is our future. They're going to be taking care of us.
These are happy kids, and they're eating high quality food.
That's good stuff. Oh boy, Carville is somehow still alive and still yelling.
Look, you fat fuck Trump, if you listen to this, you listen good, because what I'm getting ready to say is what a lot of people in this country speak for. Who I
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Speak for. And I speak for a lot of fucking people. You hear me, you fat asshole?
Wow, you tell him there, Carville.
This is what we believe. You're right. I got Trump derangement syndrome. I hate the mother.
Well, he admitted it.
Fucker. And you know what? I don't want to get rid of it. I don't want to get better. I want to get worse. I want to hate.
Oh, he likes the anger.
Him more.
Yep.
And
can you tell?
God in heaven, God reign the righteous reign of Trump derangement syndrome. Pray for me, Lord. I'm your vessel on this earth. Pray for the people that listen to this.
He's fucking lost it. He's done.
We want more.
If he ever had it, which he didn't.
We want to hate the son of a bitch so much that we can't see straight. Look, you fat fuck Trump, if you look.
Lord. Okay. Yeah, see, everything is normal in James Carville land. Good to know. Jonathan Carl from ABC News says Trump is the only president that answers calls from reporters. I believe it. He likes talking to them.
Who regularly takes. He started to read the statement to me.
He likes fucking with these people.
And then he pressed send and said, look, you can see it now. You can see it now. I've covered 5 different presidents. I have never seen one other than Donald Trump who regularly takes phone calls from reporters. So I thought I would talk a little bit about that. I've spoken to him over the phone 3 times since the military operation, the war against Iran started. In each of those cases, I simply called him and he answered. Some of the conversations are short. Some of them can be quite lengthy. I talked to him today during the middle of the afternoon, and the call lasted for about 20 minutes. When I called, I was actually calling to ask him because if he was firing Kristi Noem, because ABC News was about to report that had happened. And it turned out that he was, as I was talking to him, reviewing the statement that he would put out saying that she was leaving office. And he told me he was sitting there with Marco Rubio, and he started to read the statement to me, and then he pressed send and said, look, you can see it now. You can see it now. And sure enough, while we were talking, it appeared on Truth Social, him saying that Kristi Noem was leaving and being replaced by Mark Wayne Mullen. The conversation then turned to Iran, obviously, the really big story and major decision which may define not just his presidency, but his entire political career. And I have to say, he just sounded incredibly triumphant. He said to me, they're calling me the GOAT, greatest of all time. And
they're calling me the GOAT.
Asked me,
do you know what that means, Jonathan? It means greatest of all time.
And this is one of the unusual things. He asked me if I thought it was impressive, meaning the war. He said, what do you think of the performance? He clearly feels that he is a president right now that is almost unlimited in his power, and he feels that he can do no wrong. And he told me, well, in the first term, I built the military. In my second...
And in the second term, I used it.
Term, I am using it. But again, the conversation goes on, and it's in the middle of the day, in the middle of the war. He had just fired his Secretary of Homeland Security, just replaced her, and, you know, he's available and talking about it. It's very unique. Let's just say it that way. It's a very unique situation.
Okay. What? Ooh, who's this? March 7th, 2024, Sergeant Corbin Schultz, seen here, was arrested for conspiracy to obtain and disclose national defense info. exporting technical data related to defense articles without a license, conspiracy to export defense articles without a license, and bribery of a public official. Oh, well, who'd he try to bribe? Because sounds like someone else probably going to get arrested too. Jeez. 24 hours. In 24 hours, the FBI captured a fugitive to an international child exploitation ring. Dismantled 18th Street gang in Los Angeles. Not bad. Arrested a contractor accused of stealing $46 million from the U.S. Marshals Service. How the heck do you do that? John D'Agata, U.S. government contractor who allegedly stole more than $46 million in cryptocurrency from the U.S. Marshals. Whoa. Quite a scheme. Sounds like something probably make a movie from. Jeez. I don't remember ever hearing of that. Okay, Senators John Cornyn and Katie Britt both say they are in favor of passing the SAVE Act via talking filibuster. Oh. Well, okay. Japanese embassy in D.C. says, we're so excited to celebrate America's 250th birthday with Japan's gift of 250 additional cherry trees. Oh, thank you, Japan. Hug. Oh, you guys are so cool. I love you.
Gift. This year, Japan is adding to the beautiful display of cherry blossoms in Washington, D.C.
Thank you.
With a gift of 250 new cherry trees for America's 250th birthday. We hope that just like the original gift, they become a living symbol of friendship between our two nations for years to come.
I love those trees, man. They're stunning. Every year, try to make a point of going out to see them. Beautiful. When you have John Bolton spending 8 minutes moving his mustache, crashing Trump's cabinet members, it's the best sign that they're doing a good job.
What does that say to you about National Security Advisor, Ambassador John Bolton? And Ambassador, I mean, you heard what Clarissa just reported there about now they're targeting hotels, other areas that are not military targets. I mean, what does that say to you about what Iran is doing right now as the president is demanding unconditional surrender?
Well, they're targeting civilians, which is completely contrary to whatever law of war there is. That violates it. That's not something, obviously, we do or that Israel's doing.
I'm going to stop you there, John, because that's bullshit. We've done that. Come on.
And I think, again, this is evidence of the kind of regime.
In fact, not only did we do that, you did that. You, and the admins that you worked for did that.
We're dealing with. This is not a regime that you can find some nice Ayatollah who has a bigger smile than the Ayatollah Khamenei, now deceased, and we can deal with him. This is why regime change has to be the outcome here.
Well, in terms of the unconditional surrender demand that the president made this morning, I mean, if we don't know who is running Iran right now, what does that look like?
Well, there isn't going to be unconditional surrender from this regime. They're just not going to do it. The purpose of these attacks.
Well, then I guess there's only one way that's going to end, isn't there?
Attacks in going after the nuclear and ballistic missile programs, the Revolutionary Guard, the Quds Force, the Basiji, the Navy, is to destroy their personnel and their capabilities, and by so doing, destabilize the regime at the top and permit the opposition to begin to pry it apart even further and thereby bring it down. The regime is at its weakest point, its most unpopular point since it took power in 1979, and when you eliminate their capability.
So is he or isn't he doing a good job with
to threaten us and our allies in the region and their own people, this allows the opposition, disorganized though it may be, to find leaders in the current regime, perhaps in the regular military, not the Revolutionary Guard, but the regular military, that will turn to the opposition and help bring the regime down.
Oh boy. All right. Where Code Pink really gets its cash. Yeah, where does Medea get her money?
Oscar, I have up on my screen here in my studio Code Pink, Peace with Iran, Stop the Bombing. We haven't talked about Code Pink. We've gotten familiar with Code Pink. They're always around. They're always showing up. What's
Good old Ms. Benjamin.
their deal?
Every damn where you look.
Yeah. Thank you so much for highlighting them. Here they are. They're right there next to the People's Forum. That's also telling. So the People's Forum, as we now have been introduced, has been funded by this tech tycoon, Neville Roy Singham. And Code Pink was co-founded by his lovely wife, Jody Evans. They were married. Yeah, all runs in the family. 2017, they were married. And that's when People's Forum was created. Code Pink got an infusion of cash also from the Singham network.
Iran reportedly holding a session to elect a new supreme leader tomorrow, projected to be a virtual Zoom-like meeting. Yeah, okay. Well, I guess how else are you going to do it, right? A new report reveals secret files hidden within the FBI that only a select few officials could see. Here's more on the bombshell report. That sounds fun.
A new report reveals secret files hidden within the FBI that only a select few officials could see. Here's more on the bombshell report.
Yeah, what?
Most operators in America's surveillance apparatus couldn't see all the angles of the so-called wilderness of mirrors. On Friday, Racket News' Matt Taibbi and Ryan Lovelace published a slew of reports on the FBI's prohibited access files. News of the files piqued media's interest after FBI Director Kash Patel told Reuters about the secret trove of documents, revealing the Biden FBI spied on now White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles.
Now this triggered Seraphin, as I would later learn. It triggered a bunch of other FBI folks too, because a lot of people in the Bureau immediately said, well, what the is prohibited access?
The FBI has a case management system called Sentinel that has 3 designations for files: restricted, unrestricted, and prohibited. The prohibited files don't turn up when rank-and-file FBI agents and investigators in Congress search for them, and can only be accessed by a select few. One source told Racket News they are supposed to appear to be ghosts which do not exist. They are even hidden from FBI directors like Kash Patel.
This is essentially an oral tradition that has been passed, that gets passed from one set of bureaucrats to another, irrespective of who gets elected, who's in the White House, even who the director is. So, and this is in the DNA of the FBI, which, if you go back all the way to the very beginning, to Hoover's first days, he had a separate file cabinet of what he called official and confidential files.
Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley has been working with whistleblowers to make the prohibited access files released. Grassley warned there are dubious political shenanigans revealed within these files, noting the Arctic Frost investigation into President Trump and his allies was in them. The Racket team says the system goes as far back as 1999 and transcends administrations and parties. They also suggest there are at least 1,000 case files under this designation, with a lot revealing abuses covered up by the Bureau.
I think this may turn out to be an important little detail. Just to repeat, all misconduct cases automatically populate as prohibited files, right? Why is that important, Ryan?
Because all misconduct doesn't just cover, some kind of harassment or internal work complaint about your office neighbor. It's everything. The way they describe it is various felonies and misdemeanors. When the FBI agents are committing felonies and misdemeanors on the job, it automatically goes into this prohibited system that's locked away, that none of their colleagues are going to know about it. No one in Congress is going to know about it unless they're given special access to it, and they're not.
Taibbi and Lovelace stress the hidden files have massive implications for oversight in the FBI and for people who need to use the FBI's data for criminal cases.
And the reason this is significant is because if you're a law enforcement agency and you have all kinds of oversight obligations, you have to answer FOIAs, you have to answer discovery requests. I mean, there could be 1,000 different things that you have to put on paper.
They also assert, along with other media figures, the pressure needs to be constant on the FBI and DOJ to make sure the files get released. All the files are reportedly accounted for, but the scope remains unclear. Patel says he's got a transparency task force looking into the files and claims he's ended the program. And he vows to turn over all documents to Congress that he legally can.
Oh, yeah. Oh, cool.
The general public, they're starting to trickle in now. It's so exciting because it's really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for people in Kansas City and the region to come see these documents that rarely travel outside of Washington, D.C., and they're usually in the vault where nobody can see them. Well, about 6 months ago, the National Archives reached out as part of the America's 250th celebration, of course. They wanted to have a traveling exhibit, and they wanted 8 cities they could partner with to show these historic documents to the public, to get them outside of Washington, D.C. for the rest of the United States. They first reached out to us. We were the first city, and we were the first museum, because we've worked with the National Archives for years. We have a great relationship. They know that we have the professionalism, the facilities, the security, the environmental conditions, everything they need to put on a really first-class, internationally renowned exhibition like this. So we, of course, we leapt at the idea to bring these documents to Kansas City here, to let people who may not be able to travel to Washington, D.C., see these documents in their backyard, really kicking off the celebration for America's 250th. People, they may not realize that the founding of the American Republic was incredibly contentious. It wasn't a bunch of people getting together and all agreeing to form a government of exactly what we have now. There was debates, there was arguments, just like we have today. We live in very politically contentious times, but we've always kind of lived in politically contentious times. That's what our grand experiment is all about, is trying to figure out how to govern ourselves, not be governed by a king, whether it be the king of Great Britain, but literally we the people. You can see this in these documents, the ideals that we still all strive towards. We don't always achieve, but they're aspirational. It's to remind us what we all should be pushing for.
I wanted to come here today to see and to just get a feel for the documents and just the whole experience.
But when we saw it was coming to Kansas City, we decided we had to come down on first day and see it ourselves again.
Yeah.
U.S. investigators believe hackers affiliated with the Chinese government are responsible for a cyber intrusion on an internal FBI computer network that holds info related to some domestic surveillance orders. Whoa. Dang, bro. Paywalled, but yikes. Scope and severity of the intrusion are not known. Oh boy. Heavy clashes and fights outside New York City Gracie Mansion where, oh, for the love of God, Jake Lang is at it again. I'm telling you, dudes, like, the ADL is paying this guy. Or someone. I don't think it's the feds. But someone is paying this dude a lot of money to just act like a retard. And you're backing him with massive, like, social media campaigns. Manipulating search engines. There's weird shit going on with him.
Move that way. Fuck that shit!
Oh, that idiot. This moron.
Hold the line, Patriots. Come on, man. They're swinging. Guy in the mask. Guy in the fucking mask. Calm down. Per usual. Calm down.
It's like they found the methiest meth head they could find and just like threw him in there with Lang and gave him a bit of money and said go to town.
The ones in the violent left. The violent left. Calm down. Of speech. What do we have?
Such a fucking charlatan.
You're protecting a little Nazi.
Keep pushing! Keep pushing, you coward! Keep pushing, you coward!
Yep. Oh, and there's more.
Oh shit!
And they had to bust the pepper spray out.
Pepper spray! Oh shit! Wait a
Yeah, pepper spray does that, lady. Yep. Goes in your eyes. Russia has provided Iran with information that can help Tehran strike the U.S. military, AP sources say. Oh, okay, AP sources. I'll just believe you. Trump and Hegseth arrive at Dover for dignified transfer.
Iran continues to throw everything at them. This is the president shaking hands now with folks from the military as he's welcomed now to Dover Air Force Base. And you can see Secretary of War Pete Hegseth is right next to him.
Oh, we just saw that. All right. 60 Minutes says it has details of a classified intelligence mission that discovered a new kind of weapon built by a foreign adversary that may be linked to Havana syndrome.
The worst pain I have ever felt, it felt like a vice gripping my brainstem was there.
He's one of many U.S. government officials who tell us they were hit out of nowhere by an overpowering force that inflicts lifelong disabilities.
I immediately felt fullness in my head and just a piercing headache.
The decade-long mystery may be solved. 60 Minutes has details of a classified intelligence mission that discovered a new kind of weapon built by a foreign adversary.
I mean, if we acknowledge that this was a state actor that was doing this, it is essentially a declaration of war against the United States.
The worst pain I have ever felt, if...
Ish. $165 years ago this week, Lincoln delivered his first inaugural address. Yeah, on the steps of the unfinished U.S. Capitol. Okay, then what's up last here? One American News. Assistant Secretary of the Army Adam Tell sits down with Chanel Rion to discuss the Army's building infrastructure, not paperwork, change initiative. All right, why not? Sure.
The Pentagon moves hundreds of billions of dollars.
Oh, hold on. Take that back real quick. I'm going to pop some of my work over onto my other screen here. That can work while that's planned. All right.
Through contracts every year, Americans expect their tax dollars to go toward troops, equipment, national defense. But occasionally a contract surfaces that forces Washington to take a second look at how those dollars were spent. During the Biden administration, the Army paid for leadership training from a company with ties to a Muslim Brotherhood-linked network. The program was marketed as professional development for Army personnel. Yet, the vendor's connections have since raised serious questions about how federal contracts were vetted in the first place. The controversy fits into a broader effort now underway inside the Pentagon. A review of consulting contracts, training programs, and administrative initiatives that grew during previous years and just kept being passed along into the preceding years. Defense officials have been digging through contracts and programs that drifted far from core military missions, canceling projects that don't directly support readiness or national security. The goal is to push defense spending back toward operations, engineering, and projects that produce tangible results. Common sense, right? At the same time, Army leadership is trying to shift focus back to its civil works mission. The initiative is called Building Infrastructure, Not Paperwork. The idea is to cut through years of federal processes and redirect resources into real construction projects, flood control systems, navigation channels, dams, and port improvements, all essential to how America operates. The Army Corps of Engineers manages thousands of these projects across the country, and lengthy reviews can sometimes delay construction for years. The Corps of Engineers plays a major role in America's economy, maintaining navigation channels, protecting communities from flooding, and supporting ports and waterways that move billions of dollars in commerce every year. So, when defense dollars get tied up in consulting contracts or administrative side projects, it can distract from the physical infrastructure projects that communities rely on. Our next guest has been helping drive that shift in priorities, so we won't have these problems anymore. He serves as Assistant Secretary of the Army for Civil Works, overseeing the U.S. Corps of Engineers and the federal government's massive portfolio of water infrastructure, dams, levees, ports, navigation channels. Secretary Adam Tell joins us now.
Thank you, Chanel. Glad to be here.
Your department is something that is a department that I don't think many Americans think about on a daily basis, but it is essential to how the infrastructure of America is kept together. When bureaucracy gets in the way, though, it really hampers the core mission. That's what you guys have realized.
That's right, Chanel. Our water resources in the United States of America are one of our greatest blessings and one of our greatest competitive advantages as we compete on the global stage economically. It's hidden to many Americans because a lot of it is underwater. They may not realize when they're crossing a bridge or they see industrial activity near a waterway that's how the United States of America is projecting its economic power across the globe. I mean, this is one of the original missions of the Army. This is what helped us expand our nation westward via our waterways. Right. The Corps of Engineers built the Panama Canal, but in recent decades, the mission has lost its way. And under President Trump's leadership, we are here to reclaim it for the American public.
The contracts that you're sifting through and helping weed out, I know that DOGE, when it first came in, it was broadly sifting through a lot of the fraud that was slipping in through contracts. What have you seen firsthand?
Well, you raised one that we found, and I give a lot of credit to Secretary Hegseth and some of the directives he gave to the department that we, of course, followed. We were looking very closely at contracts that some of our regional offices had entered into. And on the surface, these contracts were for our regional offices out there in the United States of America. They were paying a third party that is typically trying to help non-governmental organizations access the government. They're paying that third party to then talk to us, who is part of the same organization. So a contract for a third party to talk to another part of the government. That's wasteful on its surface. And then as we started looking into some of the affiliations, this was an unacceptable contract. We canceled it right away, and we're going to continue down the path of canceling these types of contracts.
Talk about this new initiative. So you're trying to remove the bureaucracy that is hindering production. In terms of the Army Corps of Engineers, what does that look like?
Well, I try to explain this, and some of this stuff is so fundamental that I feel like the American public wouldn't believe me when I say it. But some of it is just reminding our military commanders out there that help run our organization that the American public are their customers. Our goal is to serve the public, not to serve our own bureaucracy and not to serve the district. That sounds very fundamental, but our military officers who help run our program are actually they welcome that message. They want to be empowered, and we're empowering them to remember that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers helped build America, and we're going to continue to. Some of the incentives that we've fallen into over the past decades actually incentivize our engineers to do endless paperwork, study reports for decades, and then when they're done with those reports, everything's changed and they have to do reports for another several decades, and we're never actually building the thing that we've been asked by the American public to build. And we're totally, through 27 different initiatives that we rolled out last Monday, we're going to totally change that incentive structure for the first time in several decades.
I imagine there's a lot of muscle memory that comes with this kind of entangling bureaucracy, right? If you're working in a system and it's massive and you just know you're one cog in it and you just have to produce this particular product, it's easy not to kind of take ownership and say, we need to streamline this corner of my work. It seems like that's a culture that would be pretty hard to overcome.
It's so true, Chanel. I go out into the field and I talk to our commanders, our engineers on the ground, and I say, why haven't you built this thing that you're supposed to be building? And they say, well, sir, there's a policy in place. And I say, well, who controls that policy? And they say, your office does, sir. And I say, well, we'll get rid of that policy so that you can build. It's shocking to me that sometimes, it's to your point, this inertia that builds. We have the ability under President Trump's leadership to untangle this red tape. And I'm just empowering our people to tell us where the red tape exists, and we're slashing through it.
I guess what's surprising to Americans who maybe don't understand how some of these organizations work is that sometimes it is as easy as just saying, get rid of the policy.
That's right, Chanel. I mean, a lot of times in some past iteration of the government, they put a policy in place to try to fix some issue of the time, and they don't even remember why that policy was put in place.
Right.
And so really, if we empower, our organization is unique to the United States of America. Only 2% of our workforce is here in Washington, D.C. 98% of our workforce is out in the field. We have this great strength that we're out there in communities in 44 districts. And we're supposed to be delivering for those communities, but unfortunately, the oversight that has been necessary, the leadership that has been necessary to tie that mission together across the country has not been there. And so these organizations quite often are lost and wayward. And what we're doing is we're just reminding everybody why we're here. We're here to do this work for the American public, to build out our water infrastructure, protect communities from flood risk, project economic and national security power across the globe, make sure that our waterways are open so that we can get the goods that are produced in Middle America out to the global market.
You have an initiative called the District Salary Transparency Initiative. What is that?
Well, what we found is that this is, again, an archaic problem that evolved over time, but the way that our budget works is our district employees are paid based on projects, and they bill against those projects. So their federal salary, it's like a law firm billing a client. They bill the project. Well, just like a law firm, they want to keep their client forever. So they're not incentivized to finish the project because then they can't bill their salary against it. Or they may be incentivized to pull a project off the shelf that wasn't quite the best project for the national interest because they want to sustain the district and sustain their federal salary. If we simply separate project completion from their salary and make those two separate issues instead of one issue, we are going to be able to incentivize our workforce to deliver projects, not to deliver just sustaining their work.
This is extraordinary hearing this initiative coming from you and coming from this office, because I don't think even people in Washington who know this program and this department, I think they're very surprised to meet someone like you. Where does this drive come from to clean up and streamline? Is it Is it from your private sector experience? Is it where's that coming from?
Well, I've spent a large portion of my career looking at the federal budget and the way that we structure things and how much transparency we provide. When Congress provides appropriations, do they know what they're buying? Are we hiding from them what they're buying?
We've learned they don't.
And they don't.
Often have no idea.
And throughout my career, I've been the one that's been reading the fine print. Mm-hmm. And so when I found out that the salaries of our employees at the district level are being paid by the projects, I thought to myself, Congress is they think they're buying infrastructure, but 1/3 of every dollar that they spend on this infrastructure is actually paying federal salaries. Now, those are people that we need working on these things. We just need to decouple the incentives of them getting paid from delivering projects. And if we decouple those things, we're going to deliver more and we're going to empower those people to deliver for the public.
Has your office spoken with Vice President Vance and his initiative?
We have not spoken directly with Vice President Vance, but we'd be happy to work with him.
Sounds like you're creating a system there that might be pretty useful. Appreciate the time.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, now, where else we can go? Here we are. Boring. Oh, yeah. This is... Yep. That's a thing. Scientists at Cortical Labs in Australia have trained 200,000 living human brain cells in a petri dish who played the video game Doom. Is it an esports champion? Absolutely not. But they show evidence that they can seek out enemies, shoot, and spin. And while they die a lot, they are learning. Creepy. Weird. Creepy, 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 creepy. All right. Fuse lit at New York City protest. Watch it closely, slow it down. Whoa. Yeah, that is definitely no joke. So it doesn't successfully detonate, I guess. Wow. Itchy. Homemade smoke bomb. Okay.
From the beginning. And last year, Codex has been open source from the beginning. And last year, we launched a $1 million fund.
That's pretty cool. All right. Someone just threw a nail bomb at Lang. What?
Support the white liberal women! White liberal women! Somebody threw a fucking bomb, bro!
Yeah, that was a nail bomb. You seen it? That's
Holy
a nail bomb.
shit.
What's a nail bomb?
That was a nail bomb. Jesus is king, and he made it that nail bomb didn't go off. Jesus is king. Thank you, Lord God. just threw a nail bomb at us and it didn't explode because Jesus is still... Thank you, Jesus.
Another one. Get the goat. Someone's got to get the goat.
Oh, the goat!
Someone's got to get the goat.
will take care of it. It wasn't a bomb. It wasn't a bomb. Get out of here. Let's just go. I'm in New York. They just threw a bomb down with a barricade. Holy shit. We're trying to get... God is still alive.
I don't buy it.
Jesus.
I don't believe this.
Thank you, Lord God.
Nope. Not one bit.
Fuck you.
This fuck will do anything for clicks.
Fuck you. You Muslim shit.
Yeah. All right. Antifa counter-protest gathered outside Gracie Mansion, burning the Confederate flag because, you know, Bang, 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 bang. Israel bombing Iranian oil infrastructure. Sorry. What? Homeless encampment in PG County. Gross, man. Ugh. Zombieland, indeed.
You can make up to 13.
I did actually a story for 60 Minutes about the persecution of Christians in Iraq, which was very, very interesting for me because I went...
I don't know what that is. All right. Moving no whale. President of Israel says he is giving strong consideration to granting Netanyahu a pardon for his corruption charges after massive pressure from Trump.
I can't let you go without asking you, President, if about the pressure campaign from our president, President Trump, for you to pardon Benjamin Netanyahu. He told Axios this week. He said, "Every day I talk to Bibi about the war, I want him to focus on the war and not the, I won't say the curse word, court case. I want the only pressure on Bibi to be the fighting against Iran." Will you be pardoning the Prime Minister, Netanyahu?
So let's put things on record and in perspective. First of all, during the war, there are no proceedings at all, so it's off the charts and off the table, and the Prime Minister is solely focused on the war. Number two, just to explain to you viewers, I'm the head of state. I don't have executive powers. It's similar to what you see in Europe and other countries, and I have the pardoning power. I'm of course obliged and sworn into Israeli law, just like you have American Constitution for the President of the United States. So we have the Israeli Constitution for the President of Israel. So I said,
would you be supportive of a pardon, sir?
Wait a minute. I said that I will consider everything seriously, but I'm obliged under the process and under Israeli law to await opinions that must be given to me by the relevant authorities. And that is why, of course, everything is on the table, but it has to be done according to Israeli law. I respect President Trump tremendously, honestly, and I take the brunt with a lot of affection and respect to him because he's the leader of the free world who's changing history. But on the merits of a case, which is an internal case in Israel, I am obliged, I'm sworn in, and I'm the president of the state of Israel.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else interesting here? Oh, what is this guy up to? Weinstein.
New Mexico is going to be the hub that connects atomic weapons, UFOs, and Jeffrey Epstein. And they're all going to merge into one story about power that we don't understand. Human power is going to be centered in the state that we barely ever talk about, and including Bill Richardson at the Department of Energy, which of course is really the custodian of physics and our nuclear weapons that Jimmy Carter converted from the AEC, where atomic energy was the cover story for atomic weapons. So we went from atomic weapons to atomic energy to just energy, and now we sound like Bill Richardson went there to be the head of oil and gas. So I think that you're going to find out that New Mexico is going to be the hub that connects all these stories. New Mexico is going to be the hub that connects atomic weapons, UFOs, and Jeffrey Epstein. And they're all going to merge into one story about power that we don't understand. Human power is going to be centered in the state that we barely ever talk about, and including Bill Richardson at the Department of Energy, which of course is really the custodian of physics and our nuclear weapons that Jimmy Carter converted from the AEC, where atomic energy was the cover story for atomic weapons. So we went from atomic weapons to atomic energy to just energy, and now we sound like Bill Richardson went there to be the head of oil and gas. So I think that you're going to find out that New Mexico is going to be the hub that connects all these stories. New Mexico is going to be the hub that connects atomic weapons, UFOs, and Jeffrey Epstein. And they're all going to merge.
Oh, oops. Sorry, I let that loop. Back here typing in the background. Okay, why not? Trump speaking on Iran back in 1980.
The Iranian situation is a case in point. That this country sits back and allows a country such as Iran to hold our hostages, to my way of thinking, is a horror.
You're advocating that we should have gone in there with troops, etc., and brought our boys out.
I absolutely feel that, yes. I don't think there's any question, there's no question in my mind. I think right now would be an oil-rich nation. I think this country is responsible for that war by its own weaknesses. If we were respected, properly respected as a country and as a people and as a nation, I don't think that you would have the war going on right now between Iran and Iraq.
Would you like to be the President of the United States?
I really don't believe I would, Ron.
Most people who are capable are not running for office. Most men are frightened of politics today.
It is a shame, isn't it?
Yes?
It is a shame.
Why wouldn't you dedicate yourself to public service?
Because I think it's a very mean life. I would love and I would dedicate my life to this country, but I see it as being a mean life, and I also see it that somebody with strong views and somebody with the kind of views that are maybe a little bit unpopular, which may be right, but may be unpopular, wouldn't necessarily have a chance of getting elected against somebody with no great brain but a big smile. And that's a sad commentary for the political process.
Television, in a strange way, has ruined that process, hasn't it?
It's hurt the process very much.
But if all the men are like you, then when are we going to get somebody who might be good?
I don't know. I hope it's around the corner, but I don't know. If we had the one man, and it's really not that big a situation. You know, people say, well, what could anybody do as president? The one man could turn this country around. The one proper president could turn this country around. I firmly believe that.
You think there is one man?
There is one man that can turn this country around. I could tell you, I know a number of people that would be excellent president, but they are not running for political office. They're not in political office. They're extraordinarily brilliant. They're very, very competent, but they're not running for political office, and I think that's very sad. And I think you said it. Maybe television is the thing that most hurt the political process in this country. I feel that this country with the proper leadership can go on to become what it once was, and I hope, and certainly hope, that it does go on to be what it should be.
Okay. Yes, finally. All right. What are you doing? Code stuff. All right, there we are. What's next? U.S. Embassy CRAM has been busy this evening with all the incoming rockets. Ooh. Look at this thing. Whoa! Damn! That's crazy. Machine gun go Bert. Dang, buddy. That's pretty cool. All right. Texas Tech University student crashes out at TPUSA tabling event screaming at the group. Okay, sign me up. Let's see it.
You put your ideas on this place time and time again! How many times have we seen this?
I don't know, sir. You tell me. How many times?
We're good? Yeah, good, man? Yeah, we're good. What a guy. Okay. Pray for you, man. Help me, please! No! Please! Oh, God. Please! Please! Help me! Holy shit. I can't hold still taking me now! I'm not fighting anymore! I can't breathe!
He's doing the I can't breathe thing, huh?
I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! Oh shit. Wow.
What time we got here? Oh, it is the top of the hour. I don't see anyone in. I don't know if anyone in at 3 o'clock. I'm not sure. Let me see if we can find anything else. Time.
او چیکار داره میکنه پشمام نزدیک پالایشگاه شهرهای امروز شنبه یادم رفت 14-15 اسفند چند اسفند زد نابود کرد ساعت 10 شب دقیقا شهرهای او چی کار داره میکنه پشمام
Yikes.
Acid reflux.
All right. Well, I don't know what we're going to put on next, but let me see what we can find. And if, oh yes, Miss Vita, if you want to come take the wheel, that would be fantastic. It is open, all yours. Yeah, that would be lovely. Okay. There we go. Let me, in the meantime, see if we can find another clip real quick. Sorry.
Eradicate is to really eradicate Christian faith. I mean, from the map of China. But we all know they will fail and fail miserably because historically, how many Caesars in Roman Empire tried but failed miserably, and even in the history of People's Republic of China, the multiple political leaders had tried, but again failed miserably, and even the revival of the church has happened instead of demise or destruction of the church. But they want to try anyway. So I think that's how I can see or interpret. Is to really eradicate.
Ish. All right. I think Miss Vicky is in. Yep, cool.
Hey, I am. Hello, hello.
How you doing? Thank you so much for coming to my rescue. I appreciate that.
Not a problem. Anytime, you know that.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll let you get to it then.
All right, darling. Have a good afternoon.
I will. You guys have a good day. Bye.
Hey, guys.
All right, bye, YouTube. Back to work. I got stuff to do. I will catch you guys. Monday.